I know it doesn't sound pleasant, but you can totally do this. It's Money Monday, the day where we celebrate all the frugal things, and today I'm telling you 5 things to cut out of your budget when you are first starting to get out of debt. When you're first starting to get out of debt, you're making a lot of sacrifices, and I know that sacrifice is not our favorite word, but I promise you if you do these things, they will really help. However, I am not the person who tells you what you can't do. I want you to, what is my tagline? Have a limitless life on a limited budget. So I'm not just going to give you a list of things that you can't do. I'm also going to give you some alternatives. So let's go. Number 1, this is going to be so obvious and you guys already know what I'm going to say, but that is stop eating out. Did you know that in 2016, the average US family spent about $250 a month eating out? That's a lot of money. And that's $3,000 a year, which can put a serious dent in your debt if you're trying. So say no to going out to eat. However, I know that for many moms, I spend like my life in the kitchen and the laundry room and like cleaning that weird joint around the toilet. Like, how does it get so dirty? And so honestly, I don't want to have to cook 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. And so going out is that nice break. But when we're trying to save money, it's simply something we can't do. Good night, girl. You have got to give yourself a break. Just make something simple like sandwiches and go down to the park and eat with your family and like change the setting, or do a casserole swap with a group of friends where you would make a double batch of whatever it is you're making and then you all swap. So invite 5 friends, make a double batch, and then you each take home 5 casseroles. Does this make sense? Next, and again, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Cable and satellite. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you something. I love TV. I know that I'm not supposed to say that, like we're all supposed to be super intellectual and talk about how like TV is damaging our brains. I love TV, like all of it. Like I like the good Emmy award-winning shows and I like the trash. Like I just like TV. And so giving up cable and satellite was kind of hard for me because of how much I love TV. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't miss it. Like once it was gone, and I didn't like pine away for what I was missing. I found other ways to fill my time. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you're not watching TV. And also I found streaming services that I love. And the 2 that I love are Hulu, because I can watch like This Is Us and The Good Place and all of those shows the next day without commercials, and of course Netflix. And it cost me less than $25 a month, really like less than 20 bucks a month to have both of them. And that's way cheaper than cable and satellite were. Now the caveat is my husband loves football and we live in Alabama and his team has won the national championship how many times? And so giving up cable during football season was hard for him. So he would either go to a friend's house, listen to it on the radio, find a place to stream it online. Like we just kind of made do. And then when we had a little bit more room in our budget, we added Sling during football season so that he could stream it. Also, when we were paying off our debt, the only streaming service that we had was Netflix. It was like our little splurge. And then Hulu came after. I still won't sign back up for cable. But there are so many alternatives that are so much cheaper. Like, how do cable and satellite even still exist? And the average, just in case you're wondering, the average satellite bill is $130 a month, $1,500 a year. Number 3, new kids clothing. Unless you have found a really great going out of business sale, I wouldn't buy kids clothes new. You can find so many great things at consignment sales, swaps, Craigslist, eBay, at the thrift store, and kids are notoriously hard on clothes. I have 3 boys, so what I do is when I hit the thrift store or consignment sales, I find like nicer quality pieces for my oldest, and then we just pass them down. But it is very rare for me to go out and buy brand new clothes. Now, I got rid of everything before I got pregnant with Jessie, my youngest, and so I did have to go and buy some things, but you better believe I hit up the Gymboree going out of business sale and spent $1.80 per outfit. And honestly, clothing in general, I feel like a lot of us could take a break from buying new clothes, which is why I committed not to buy myself anything new for all of 2018, because I have so many things in my closet that need to be worn and loved and repurposed and breathed new life in. So not just clothes for your kids, but maybe you could reevaluate your own closet and decide that you're not going to go shopping. Number 4, subscriptions. Okay, we all have, well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have things that have just come to our house, memberships that we've signed up for that we've forgotten about, whether it's, some sort of online monitoring that we're never using, magazines we're not reading, Ipsy bags. We can't possibly wear that much eyeshadow. Maybe it's cute stuff that your kids get once a month. Like, really evaluate whether or not you're using things, getting the most mileage out of them, and then determine whether or not they're worth keeping. I know that $10 for something like Birchbox or Ipsy doesn't seem like a lot, but if it's stacked on top of a bunch of other things that you're not using and you're not getting the most mileage out of, maybe it's time to reevaluate if that has room in your budget. And then finally, this one's hard, but extracurriculars that your kids don't absolutely love. Our children are overscheduled already, right? Do you not feel like you have something every single weekend, every single night of the week? And then I look at what all we're doing and I think, like, do my kids even like this that much? My oldest played basketball this season and my husband coached. And at the end of the season, I said, do you want to play next year? And he said, not really. He said, I mean, I like having a uniform and being on a team, but I don't think basketball is my sport. And there were so many times throughout the season when I would look at him just sitting on the bench and not enjoying it. And like during the game, like, okay, he's 6. So trying to have conversations with his teammates or like waving to people in the crowd. And he just wasn't into the game. And it's okay. Like, they don't have to be into everything. So maybe there are some extracurriculars that your kid just doesn't love that you're having them do because you feel like it's something that they need to do, or something that other families are doing, or that they're not going to be a well-rounded individual without them, and maybe cut them out or find a cheaper alternative. And I'm not saying to pull your kids out of everything. Like, I firmly believe in enrichment activities and sports and art and music. I think that all of those things benefit our kids in ways that we don't even know yet. But if you're finding yourself pouring more and more and more money into a sport that your child isn't crazy about, that isn't going to benefit them in the long run, and you find yourself driving here and there and you're never at home, and then of course you're running up extra expenses on top of that, maybe it's time to cut those things out of your life and not feel guilty about them. Okay, so that's my list. I would love to know some things that you've cut out of your budget or that you're planning to cut. Leave me a comment below and tell me about it. Great, so if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, hit that like button and turn on the bell notification so that you always know when new videos are uploaded. I put out new videos every Monday and Wednesday, and I have a blog where I put up posts 3 times a week, so be sure to check that out, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Why are you so loud? I love you, diffuser, but you're loud.